You have the stats, pretty even football game by both football teams. Third down conversions, Bentley has the advantage, and that's been important over the course of the game. Time of possession, Bentley has the advantage there. Penalties have hurt Stonehill a little bit, but not a lot. Pretty even football game, except on the scoreboard where it's 21-12, and that's not too far away.
And Stonehill starts with the football as we get the second half underway. Boy, that was a nice tackle on the kickoff coverage team for Bentley, just as they got it back out to about the 25-yard line.
Start off right now! Right now!
First and 10 for Stonehill.
One of the things that Bentley has been able to do in that second quarter, Tom, that held them in good stead, they really had superb field position all quarter long, took advantage of that for those back-to-back scores at the end of the quarter.
Quarterback John Derrick was 8 for 13 in the first half for Stonehill for 148 yards. He gives the handoff and may have lost a yard on the play. Ball carrier was William Harrison, 10 carries, 18 yards in the first half. And he lost one. Second down and 11 here for the Chieftains.
Bentley third in the Division II in total defense, fifth in rushing defense, and that's coming to the fore here in this football game as they are stifling Stonehill's offensive running game, forcing Stonehill to resort to the pass.
Patrick Cullingford checked into the Stonehill lineup. He is wide to the right side. Derrick is hit and going to be sacked at the 10-yard line. That's a loss of 15. Huge loss on the sack.
Well, third in the nation in Division II in total defense as well. And here comes Joe Dowd, pressure, sack time, and that has hurt Stonehill's rushing totals as they have not been able to keep Dowd out of the backfield when they've tried to throw the football. There you see the stats for Bentley College over the course of the season, and Dowd is having a couple of big pressures today. The 6'3", 240-pounder out of Stoughton, Massachusetts.
2 sacks, 2 interceptions by the Bentley defense in the game so far. Derrick at quarterback draw runs it up the middle. He got some yardage out of it, but it's still going to be fourth and about 10 yards to go for Stonehill, and the punting team comes on.
Second time Derrick has run the draw out of the long passing situation. Todd Schulman makes the tackle downfield. So they bring in an extra linebacker in that third down and 20 situation.
Sforza and Frizzoli are back to receive the punt, and again a problem on the snap. It's one hop. It's a short punt, and it's taken by Sforza, who is bumped out of bounds right at the 50-yard line, bumped into the Stonehill bench area. First and 10 there for the Falcons.
I can't remember the last time Bentley took over the ball deep in their own territory. Once again, here as the third quarter starts, they're going to get the ball at the midfield stripe, and that just gives them some opportunities offensively to run in, pass, and to use their entire repertoire of offense. Stonehill's defensive secondary has had great difficulty today covering the receivers for Bentley in pass patterns, and Mason has been on the money with the throws.
Mason 10 out of 15 in the first half, threw 1 interception, but also threw 3 touchdown passes.
Let's go!
And the pitch for Raposa. Raposa now a 1,000-yard career rusher, gets 1 on that play. It'll be second down and 9 for Bentley. George Rodriguez up to make the tackle for the Chieftains. By the way, all 3 of those touchdown passes that Mason threw were caught by Mark DeBrito. Raposa now with 1,002 yards rushing for the season. DeBrito with his second 3-touchdown game of the season. Mason looked right, then left, and slides safely to the 45-yard line.
Well, they were trying to get DeBrito on a hook and go, and that's what makes the defensive backfield problem so significant in terms to covering. That's the sideline, and that may be a little bit muddier even on the sideline than the field. They were trying to catch DeBrito on that left side to hook and go between the Fredette, the deep back, and Dickie White, the short man.
It's 3rd and 6, and yes, the field is kind of gooey out there about now. 12 minutes to play in the third quarter. Raposa rips it up the middle, pulls away from a tackler, takes it to the 31-yard line, and it'll be first and 10 for Bentley. At that point, the tackle was made by Richard White.
They ran an inside trap off counter action in the backfield. Watch the pull and trap. See, it's a little counter action. Back to the left side. They pull and trap and put him right up the middle. You see the lead block coming through there, leading Raposa up to the through the line of scrimmage. Well set up play by the by Bentley College. He just popped that one right through the line of scrimmage. Good block by Starbird, the offensive guard.
Mason, there's Raposa again. Straight up the gut to the 25-yard line, and that's going to be a gain of another 6 or 7 yards. David Fleming, double fours, 44, making the tackle. He's from Wilmington, Massachusetts.
Brian Starbird, who started off the game as a backup tackle and backup offensive lineman, made excellent blocks on those last 2 plays. A kid out of Waltham, Mass.
Mark DeBrito, as you well know by watching the first half, had a terrific first half. 5 receptions for 101 yards and 3 touchdowns. And here's Raposa again, straight ahead. Short of a first down, but does get maybe 4 yards on that play. So 3rd down and 2.
Well, they ran counter again. That's the same play that Raposa popped through for the big gain. Joe Meal, the left guard, pulls and traps. Watch, left guard pull, run that trap in there. They pull a trap on the defensive tackle that time. Doesn't open up quite as much as Minicucci makes a good defensive play, stuffing the hole, tightening up that whole defensive setup.
3rd and 2 for Bentley. Raposa, workhorse on this drive. Dives for the first down. It's going to be close. Mason's indicating they got it, and apparently they did without a measurement. Chad Goucher, cornerback for Stonehill, makes the tackle from East Wareham, Mass, and Wareham High School.
I tell you, Coach Yetton is a very, very smart guy. He's coached football around here for a long, long time. And even though he likes to air the football out, he's going to burn some time off this clock as he runs this ball in. He may throw the football, he may throw it right here, but he's had a good number of running plays here to burn some time off the clock.
Aiello is the fullback and Raposa the tailback. It's Aiello, and Aiello pounds straight ahead over the left side of his offensive line, gets 4.
And see, as long as you can get 4 yards, 4 and 5 yards in your offensive cracks, and you're in 4-down territory, you're just gonna, you're gonna continue to use that as a major part of your offense. Now, at any point in time, Mason control the football here because he, as we pointed out, has been hot all day. Now they've set him up a little bit for the pass, but because they've run the ball so effectively. Watch out.
Big Darren Lee checked into the lineup for Bentley. Here's Raposa again, a whole lot of room. Cuts to the outside, looking for the end zone. Raposa prances in to make it a 27-12 lead for Bentley.
David Fleming, the linebacker, is wondering how he missed. He's had 2 opportunities in this series to make the tackle. There again, a little counter action behind the trap block. They don't get him, pick a big hole up, and Raposa kicks that ball out to the right-hand side and sort of glides and strides into the end zone. Boy, they were effective with that play. A little counter trap over the middle. Good blocking up front. You see that trap block action, set those plays in motion.
Eric Giacoba on the try for extra point. And it's good. 28-12. Bentley, 9:19 to go in the 3rd quarter.
The best thing about Stonehill College is the people.
The national press is discovering what many New Englanders have known all along. Stonehill College is one of the most vibrant Catholic liberal arts schools in the country. Located 20 minutes south of Boston, Stonehill is celebrating 50 years of excellence in liberal arts, science, and business administration. With an enrollment of 2,000, classrooms are where students and professors truly get to know each other.
My best friends are here.
At Stonehill College, there are no strangers.
You'll call it your window of opportunity. And there's one thing that's bound to attract a crowd. Festive decorations? Maybe. Pretty lights? Whoa. How about saving money? It's the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event where you can get low 2.9 APR financing or great cashback savings on a huge selection of Chevy cars and trucks. So don't forget, make your money count now at your Chevy dealer and save big.
Especially since you can make no payments till 1998, only at your local Chevrolet dealer.
I think this is a place where people can showcase their skills in running the ball, catching.
But, Kurt, you ain't feeling no pressure to consider you as a defending champion. I believe in repeats and three-peats.
I would think it's a friendly competition.
But once they get on that dotted line out there and they hear that gun go off, I try to enlighten some rookies. How you blow a league like that? Some of the things that the Wiley veterans have told me. Anything that you start, you try to come in first place in.
Hey, he's inviting us to his house tomorrow, isn't he?
Since 1938, the Eastern College Athletic Conference has been a resource for its members by providing over 100 championships along with awards, officiating, and important legislation. With 290 colleges and over 30 playing leagues, the nation's largest athletic conference creates an atmosphere where athletics and academics combine for a tradition of excellence. That's what students are looking for, parents can depend on, and athletes are proud to be a part of. ECAC, the Conference of Champions.
Welcome back to Stonehill. Bentley 28, Stonehill 12, 9-19. Look at the splits in that offensive line. They almost set up the trap angles by the splits between the right guard and the center. Pull, trap. Look at that huge hole. Great trap block by the left guard coming across and cleaning that whole hole up. And you could see by the lineup there, Tom, that they'd created the hole on the lineup. Huge hole at the line of scrimmage.
Adamson and Rodriguez are deep for Stonehill. That unusual situation where you don't know what they're going to do on the kickoff. Now they back off. And Eric Giacoba kicks it away. Squibber gets through the legs and covered at the 31-yard line. Number 70 for Stonehill. That is Robert Lasinskas. Had it squirt through his legs, kind of like croquet, but he got back to it and managed to cover it.
By the way, off that last replay, we're going to give Joe Meal another big goal star. You know, that's another trap block that he threw. But, you know, on that play that we just saw, if you can take wide splits at the line of scrimmage and you're going to run an inside trap, you can see how that hole was created almost by the lineup of the offensive lineman, and Meal could have fallen down. As it was, he made a pretty good block.
9:14 to go, third quarter, 28-12. Bentley, Stonehill with the ball. Derek wants to pass, has somebody tugging on his jersey, throws a wobbly pass for Adamson, who comes back to get it and scoops it off the ground, complete at the Bentley 47-yard line.
Well, the young freshman Derek really showed some poise here. He's getting all sorts of pressure. And really, I didn't think he had any chance to get rid of this football, as Stonehill's offensive pass protection has really been a little shaky over the last couple of series, but he just finds himself open as he comes up to the line of scrimmage, just throws the ball downfield, finds the receiver, and makes the completion. First down, big one.
That's the 5th reception of the game for Adamson, who now has over 100 yards receiving himself, 115. Derek having to scramble. Down he goes at the 41-yard line. That's Ben Nasser again.
He's just a load, Nasser, at 6'2", 242-pound defensive end. He had both times, both the last time when he escaped and got rid of the ball, and this time he's just getting too much pressure up front. Doesn't see any passing angles to get rid of the ball. Starts to move out to the right, and Nasser makes the tackle. 31 career sacks is a school record. He and the other defensive end, Tucker, have done a superb job all season long. Between the two of them, they're responsible for a bunch of sacks, throws for losses, and fumble recoveries.
He was the 1996 Eastern Collegiate Football Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Harrison gets the call for Stonehill and gains possibly 5, but they need a whole lot more than that. It's going to be third down now for the Chieftains. 3rd and 14. Clock is running, 7 minutes, 46 seconds to play in the third quarter. Bentley leading 28-12.
Yeah, one of their best plays offensively in terms of yards per carry has been the draw, primarily because they've been in a couple of real humongous long yardage situations.
There's Adamson to the near side. He's been the primary target all season long, all game long for Stonehill. The pass is over the middle, and if they call that a completion, boy, what a great catch it is, and it is complete by Adamson. He just scooped that one out of the mud.
Yeah, we had a great angle here to see that catch, and that was a catch. What would have been sad is if they didn't give it to him, because that was a beautiful catch. Great throw. I thought he threw the ball. He had to throw the ball low because Adamson was pretty well covered. Just puts it in a spot that Adamson can catch it. Nobody else. You can see why he had to put that ball as low as he did, because there was just a lot of traffic he was throwing that ball into, and Adamson made just a dandy catch out of that one.
Seeing 2 outstanding receiving performances to Brito on the Bentley side and Adamson, number 16 for Stonehill.
Out of Dom Savio, Winthrop, Massachusetts. This is no piece of cake either. They're going to make a first down, going to go wrong yard.
4th and 1. Timeout called for by Stonehill. This big play might not be a bad time to take a timeout and talk about how to get this 1 yard. They have something going here offensively for the first time in a while. I'd like to keep this one going a while.
Well, when you start to look at what this situation is, you know, if they score and get 2, then that gives them 20. And then they got to score and get 2 again. So, you know, what they have to do here with the third period, about a little more than half over, they have to score twice, get 2 twice, or score 3 times. And, that's not easy to do against this team.
Third quarter, by the way, Nort, for Stonehill has been a problem all season long.
Disaster.
For some reason, they have been outscored 88-38. 70-45 in the first quarter. They've broken even in the second, and the fourth quarter has been their strongest, but 88-38. They've been outscored in the third quarter all season long. 6 minutes and 33 seconds to go. They have a bit of an opportunity and a crucial situation here for Stonehill. They don't have a kicking game, so field goals aren't very likely. So as Nort was saying, it takes 2 touchdowns and two-point conversions.
But remember, we said field goals weren't likely last week.
Found out different,
and then
didn't we?
Colin Vataho goes in and pumps 3.
Well, Father Randy is going to have a few copies of that one.
Do we have any left that Nesson after Randy picked up?
So here's 4th and 1 for the Chieftains. They messed it up in the handoff. Derek never did get to hand the ball off, and he goes down back at the 45-yard line. There is a loss of 6 yards on the play, and the ball goes back to Bentley.
Well, that's what you call respect for the other guy's defense. This is a fake, and they were going to throw the football in that situation. They had 4th down, a yard to go, and what do you say when you make that play is, the other team's defense is beating us up a little bit up front against the run, and we don't feel we can make the first down.
Well, 1st and 10 for Bentley instead, 28-12, as they have the 16-point lead. Raposa hit immediately after taking the handoff and loses a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, they ran trap, except this time they ran it to the other side. Ran it behind Starbird, the offensive guard, and that time they were able to stuff it a little bit more effectively. Brian Starbird, the 5'11", 260-pounder out of Waltham High School.
They do mark it back at the line of scrimmage, so check that. 2nd and 10. And Mason to throw on 2nd down. Bombs the pass out for DeBrito, just couldn't quite get there. Made the dive for it. Landed at the 28-yard line, did get a hand on it, but the pass is incomplete. It's 3rd and 10 for Bentley.
He's just really tough to defend. This ball is a little shorter. They got a completion because this is a pretty good defensive back, and you see what he does is he just puts some distance, some space between himself and Dickie White, and had the quarterback, Mason, been able to drop that down the well as he's done all game long, they might have another completion there.
DeBrito's on a pace for a 10-reception, 200-plus yard afternoon, and had 3 touchdown receptions just in the first half. Back goes Mason and throws. This is complete and out of bounds after the 1st and 10 as he gets down into Stonehill territory. The pass was complete to Casey Butler.
Well, they ended up with the linebacker on Butler, the wide receiver. See, that's 82, breaks out from the line of scrimmage. They had trips to that side, 3 receivers out to that side. That puts the linebacker out on the tight end. That's 41, the linebacker, Driscoll, trying to cover the tight end. They got in trouble earlier trying to cover a wide out, a receiver with a linebacker, and end up with beaten for a long gain down to the 1.
And that's not a bad day for Mike Mason. Raposa threads his way down to the 40-yard line, gaining 4 on the play. 2nd and 6. Minicucci and on the tackle for Stonehill.
I'll tell you, Bentley's found a home in their running game with that inside counter trap. They're just running that to death and running it for good yardage. Was stuffed the last time they ran it, but ran it up in there again. They're just running that little counter step isolation inside, run it behind a trap block.
Mason, co-captain, back to throw. A lot of time. Fires it downfield. That is complete. That's DeBrito, and he takes it in for his 4th touchdown of the day. 34-12. And now this one's getting a little bit out of hand. That touchdown with 5 minutes and 11 seconds to go.
He just runs a post pattern. See, the quarterback nicely looks off the defense. That means the safety's nowhere to help. And that's pitch and catch between DeBrito and the quarterback Mason, as White not able to cover him. I want to explain to you, when we see that on replay after this extra point, why that was so effective with Mason.
And the extra point try by Eric Giacobbe is good. make it 35-12 Bentley.
Now watch what Mason does as a quarterback here. See, he comes off, looks right. See, he's looking right. That takes the safety and takes him out of the middle. Draws him off to the right. So now when the split end DeBrito comes down and runs his post pattern over the middle, there's no one there. You saw how long he looked to the right-hand side? Now safety's told, you key in the quarterback. Watch the quarterback's eyes. Quarterback looks right, safety drifts right. To his left, but our right. And when that happens, that creates a big crease in the secondary. You run a post pattern down the middle there, there's no one there to help that defensive cornerback.
And that reception for DeBrito, aside from being his 4th touchdown reception of the afternoon, puts him over 1,000 yards receiving for the season.
Yeah, you know, and that's a little thing that an experienced quarterback gives you that you don't get with younger kids. You know, here you got a guy that's been around a long time, Mason, and he's got a dandy receiver in DeBrito. But I'm going to tell you something. He doesn't have the poise to look the safety man off in that situation. When you run that post pattern, there's that safety sitting right there. He can come in and pick the ball off, look for an interception.
And it's squibbed again. This says, bear in mind, a live ball. It goes out of bounds, and people skidding in the mud after it down around the 33-yard line over on the Bentley side of the field. Well, what a difference a week makes. Last week for DeBrito in their loss to CW Post, he had not a single reception, was blanked. And today he has caught 4 touchdown passes, and he's up around flirting with 200 yards.
Well, you got to wonder how that could possibly happen in a football game. Weather is going to be a major factor, but this kid is, you know, I mentioned earlier, talking to Coach Yetton before the game, he said, you know, give him 0.2 of a second more in the 40-yard dash. He's playing for BC, and he's not playing for Bentley.
5 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Stonehill trailing now by 23 points. Derrick with a quick pitch to Harrison, taken down for a loss at the 33-yard line. Loss of 2, Bill Tucker from that defensive end spot.
Converted running back. He was banged up a lot as a running back, got himself injured, wasn't able to finish, you know, have a complete season, but they moved him to the defensive end, and he's been a dandy over there. And, you know, one of the things in this football game that maybe people won't recognize as much as it be all DeBrito and the Mason, but this defensive football team for Bentley has really stuffed Stonehill's run, really taken them out of a running game and pressured the pass game. Great defensive game so far for Bentley.
Last 4 touchdowns in this game have been scored by Bentley. Screen over the middle to McSherry. McSherry to the 40-yard line. 3rd and 5 will be the situation now for Stonehill, and a flag is down.
Roughing the quarterback, Tom.
Bill Tucker, number 32, was in on him.
Let's watch the play, and you'll see what happens. Tremendous pressure up front, the 2 bookends, and Tucker gives him an extra whap as he and both Tucker and Nasser were in there on the play, putting great pressure on, and that was unnecessary. That you know, when you're stuffing the team defensively, you don't want to give them a 15-yarder. You know one of the times you know you're in trouble as an offensive football coach when you're trying to get an offense to run. When your best running plays are consistently, or best plays are consistently draws and screens, you know that you're in some trouble, because that means that the rest of your offense isn't working real well, and you're in long yardage situations, which is usually when draw and screen is most effective, and that's the situation Stonehill's been in, although they got a break there on the penalty.
Sure did. That adds 15 yards, and it takes it into Bentley territory onto the Bentley 45-yard line, and there Stonehill goes out of the shotgun. Derrick throws over the middle. That man, Adamson, again taken down in the muddiest part of the field. It's really kind of gooey at that particular spot right at the 30-yard line. To our left, Jake Oates, cornerback from Cheshire, Connecticut, with the tackle for Bentley.
You know, earlier this season, Jake Oates was named a Burger King Scholarship Award winner, and Burger King made a $10,000 donation to Bentley College in the name of Jake Oates, outstanding student athlete.
Because he does it his way.
You bet.
3 minutes and 34 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Shotgun again for Stonehill. The freshman quarterback, Derrick, that quarterback draw has worked very well. He has a nice block, cuts it to the right side, still on his feet, spinning away, still going down the sideline. He breaks away. He may get to the end zone. He's knocked out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I think
and flags. A couple of them down there.
Well, I think they got a clip upfield. I think we're going to find at about the, let's see, I'm not sure, about the 25-yard line is going to be a clip. Now let's watch the play. Let's see if we can see it. I'll tell you, when you watch Derrick's high school team play, one of the things you know is everybody on the team can run. And Derrick can run effectively here.
The penalty's against Bentley.
Well, it
Face
is
mask.
against Bentley. I thought it was going to be a hit from behind there, but there wasn't any hit from behind, and Derek's run is going to come. Boy, what a great run by Derek. He's had an outstanding football game. He's a good-looking young quarterback.
Yeah, right. It's interesting. Stonehill has messed around, tried a lot of different quarterbacks over the course of the season, and only in the last couple of games have come to settle on Derek. And they may have settled on him for the next few years.
Well, he can run. He played at Londonderry High School, and everybody there can run.
First and goal for Stonehill. The handoff. They just need a couple of yards. Don't think he got quite that much. It's McSherry, Anthony McSherry. It's his brother, Michael, who was probably, and they give him a touchdown. He's in. Arms went up after they unstacked everybody, and that breaks a string of 4 consecutive Bentley scores, and Stonehill makes it 35-18. They will be going for 2.
Well, Derek is certainly establishing himself and making a statement that he deserves to be the #1 quarterback here. He and Phil Hurley have competed all season long, but he's had a superb game thus far under duress and really without much of a running game. He's had to do much of it himself in terms of run and throw from the quarterback position. That's going to give Stonehill a huge lift. Right now, they don't have all their folks on the field. They had guys out there celebrating. It's funny. You know, I tell you, it drives you nuts.
That's Bill Heiss who chugs back in.
Heiss is over here. He's celebrating, throwing his helmet up in the air, and somebody yelling at him saying, you got to be on the field, kid.
Well, they are going to set up to kick anyway, and they will try and kick it. There you go. And it is no good. With 3:05 to go, our score is 35-18. This year's ECAC Chevy Dealers of New England Game of the Week package has included a number of heated traditional rivalries. Bentley coach Peter Yetton talked with us about this one, Bentley and Stonehill.
With us, and we want to keep up with them, and you know what I mean, and maybe it's a little bit for the bragging rights for the next particular year, and but I think what I've enjoyed the last couple of years in particular, I think the kids walk across the field after the game, they shake hands. I'm sure they bump into each other over the summer, but I think they enjoy playing against each other. But hey, win, lose, or draw, they walk across, they put their hand out, look each other right in the eye and say, hey, great game. You played as hard as you can. We played as hard as we could. It was a great football game, and good luck to you. We'll see you next year.
There you go.
It takes all kinds.
I'll tell you.
That's what makes football the great game it is.
Sometimes when you watch some of these fans, you wonder how some of them got admitted.
Admitted or committed?
They somehow fool the admissions office.
Stonehill's kickoff is short, end over end. And he touches the knee down at the 38-yard line. Not a bad place to start a drive after a kickoff. Make it the 39 for Bentley.
Yeah, DeBrito made a decision that he wasn't any kickoff return guy. Boy, he's had a game, hasn't he?
Wow.
Yeah, he's had now 4 touchdowns this season. They've had now 8 passes over 70 yards, and he's had a 64-yard, an 80-yard pass, a 78, an 88, and a 70-yarder today.
He had a string of 6 consecutive games this year in which he had caught at least 1 touchdown pass. It was broken when they blanked him, CW Post last week. Here's the pass for Raposa. He's looking for some place to go. Gets bumped, spins away. He still ends up losing yards, but he covered a good part of the field from far side to near side.
Well, I was trying to use the official finally as a pick man on this play, but this was, they tried to get Stonehill to overcommit to the right side. They have 2 receivers out to the right side. They make it look like they're going to throw a little pass, a little flare pass out to the right side, and actually throw screen left. Now watch, see, they got everybody out right. They're making them think they're going to throw out to the right side. They're going to throw screen left. Now here he comes, just well defended by Stonehill. Lots of traffic, including the referee. Official, not the referee.
Handoff straight ahead. That'll get him back almost to the original line of scrimmage. So 3rd down. And 10 will be coming up here for the Bentley Falcons. They have the lead at 35-18.
Yeah, Bentley picking the right time to have a tough defensive hold, too, because this is this game far. And we learned last week at Amherst Williams.
Didn't we, though?
This game is far from over. 35-18. You get a hold here. You go back and score now. Whoops, hold on.
Peter Supino coming back into the game, leading Williams to 3 consecutive touchdowns and eventually a 48-46 win. Mason's being chased, rolls to the left side, fires long, nobody there. That's 10 yards beyond anybody, and the closest folks were both wearing purple.
He threw that ball about 55 yards, and he really didn't have good balance when he got rid of it. That was a good decision by Mason. That was clearly an opportunity to just get rid of the ball. Throws this thing 55 yards, just running for his life back there, just doesn't get balanced up, but heaves it. You know, that's intentional grounding, but not the kind that's never going to get called.
Rodriguez and Adamson are the returners that are deep. It goes Rodriguez's way. Bounces at the 36. He'll let it go, and it will trickle down to the 25-yard line and roll dead there. 75 yards away from the goal line that Stonehill will be heading for. We are late in the third quarter at 35-18 Bentley.
Nice little momentum switch there as Stonehill. See, it doesn't do any good to throw a touchdown on the board if you come back and you give the other team a long possession or a touchdown themselves. So what Stonehill did right there was follow up a good offensive series and touchdown with a stop. It didn't take much time to do it. There's the outstanding quarterback out of Winthrop High School, Mike Mason.
Richard White, who plays both sides of the ball for Stonehill, is back on from the sideline and sets as a receiver wide to the right side out of the shotgun. Derrick gives ground, and the chase is on. He throws it over the middle and incomplete. And Derrick goes down again. Southern Connecticut and Albany playing for the Atlantic Division Championship in the Eastern Football Conference. Wow, they've got a good one going on up there with 11 minutes to go. In the first half, Albany leads Southern Connecticut 14-13. The winner of that game will play AIC, the Bay State Division champion, next Saturday, a 12 noon game live here on your New England Sports Network. We'll have it for you. Albany has won 9 consecutive games since losing the opening game of the season to Central Connecticut. Derrick throws, it's complete. 1st and 10, Adamson.
You can't run a pattern much better than Adamson ran that one, and you can't throw a football much better than Derrick threw it. Adamson lined up on the right side, ran a post pattern, short post across the middle, about a 12-yard deep post pattern, and the quarterback Derrick just fired the ball at him. Again, a low pass. The only one who's going to catch that one was Adamson.
Adamson's getting very close to double-figure receptions himself. 1:06 to go in the third quarter. 1st and 10, Stonehill. Derrick back to throw, and does. It is broken up and almost intercepted. Down around the 43-yard line in Bentley territory. Incomplete pass broken up by Jake Oates, senior from Cheshire, Connecticut.
Yeah, it's a little difficult to throw this pass when it ends up being delayed. Derrick ended up taking that outside the defensive end, rolls to the right. I don't know whether that was a pre-designed roll or he just got the block and turned it out. See, you get a turn in there. Now everything's squeezed up to the sidelines, and you'll see there's just a bunch of white shirts down there. He was very lucky that that one was not intercepted.
Adamson and Harrison, the potential receivers, wide left side. Adamson now has caught 8 passes as Derrick makes it. Now he couldn't hold on. Well, that was one of his better opportunities. He's been diving and scooping things off the surface. That one he didn't even have to dive for and couldn't hang on.
Yeah, he catches this one. He's going to go a long way again. This is out of shotgun. He's lined up to our right. As we look at it defensively, runs a short little post across the middle. You know, I think he catches that ball. He beat Sean Gray there because Sean Gray was coming over, didn't have a real good angle to make a tackle, was trying to more make a play on the ball.
Big number 86, Ken Bowen, has come into the lineup.
Tough kid.
Lines up his tight end. Again, it's Harrison and Adamson to the left side. Right over on the right side, and the pass is tipped and incomplete. Boy, that could have been another 6 inches, and that could have been 6 points.
Adam Whitby out of Weston, Connecticut makes the play. A wide post pattern there where Dickie White lines up wide to the right side, runs a deep post here. Ball just slightly overthrown. Looked for a moment as if he was going to get it. Had he got it another 6 inches higher, it had been perfect, but Whitby just able to reach over with the hand and knock it away. As you saw there, that Dickie White out of Chelmsford, Mass. was behind him, but the ball a little bit underthrown.
4th down and 10, they punt it away. Back at the 27-yard line. Heads for the far side and taken down at the 40-yard line. And that's where Bentley will start this next offensive series with 35 seconds to go in the third quarter. Bentley leading Stonehill 35-18.
Well, Stonehill just had a stop previous to this, and took the ball over and came close to putting something together offensively. Just missed on that last pass from to Ricky White. Now what they have to do defensively is put another stop out here.
1st and 10, Bentley.
Hefty quarterback, Mason, huh?
39-yard line. Raposa. Left side, Raposa has a little bit of room over on the far side. Gains 8 before these run out of bounds at the 47 or 8-yard line. Looks like it's going to be the 48. Maybe a gain of 9.
Well, pretty good gain. Again, they ran him outside. Now, what I would look for them to come back on, they've made a living in this second half with the counter trap up the middle, and his yards per carry on that counter trap, he's got to be up about 8 or 9 yards a carry. So we could look. This is a short yardage situation. We could look for them to throw in this because they could figure they could back and make it on third.
Raposa nearing 100 yards rushing for the day.
Counter trap.
May have gotten
short.
Just a yard there, so they're going to be short of the first down. David Fleming, 44, with the tackle for the Chieftains.
See, 2nd and short in that situation, you're going to look for either pass or run that counter up the middle, and they ran that counter that time with the pull and trap and weren't able to make the block. Meal made a pretty good block, but they had it tied up inside. 95 yards for Raposa, the junior out of Case High School, native of Swansea. Timeout.
We just ticked down to zeros at the end of the third quarter.
Good reason of a timeout.
It's 35-18. Bentley, 4th quarter coming up. We'll be right back.